My husband and I recently returned from a trip to Japan, and on this trip I decided to do something a little bit different and attend a Sashiko workshop. And I was truly inspired by the patterns that were on display and what we tried out. The instructor June was so helpful. So when I got home, I decided that I have to try it out. I had already been collecting bits and pieces to be able to work on my own Sashiko projects, but I really had no idea what I was doing. So I decided that my first project would be a needle book, somewhere to hold everything that I would need for my Sashiko projects. So you can see things here like chalk, pencil, pacer, different threads and rulers, scissors. In the top left corner, you can see a bit of a thimble that I made myself out of denim. And now a bunch of needles and things that I've been collecting, and a threader. If you want to see some bloopers, stick around for the end for something that I had no idea could happen. Now let's get into it. My plan for the needle book. I wanted to completely self-draft this after watching some other YouTube videos. So I knew that I would need a cover and some sort of loop, and I knew that my cover I wanted to be some sort of Sashiko pattern as well. I thought it would be important for a Sashiko needle book to actually display some Sashiko patterns, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to practice a few different styles as well. Because during the workshop, we had learnt about how to do a persimmon flower, and there's multiple different variations of that. So I tested out a different variation on this project here. Once I knew what I wanted the front cover to look like, I had to start planning the inside, which was the slightly more difficult part because I knew there had to be a couple of pages, which is where I would hold the needles, making sure they're nice and secure. And then I wanted a couple of pockets as well to keep things like the scissors and the needle threader and maybe even the ruler and the pencil. So I was trying to make some calculations to be able to hold all of those too. Once I was satisfied though with what I drafted, it was time to get to work, time to get cutting. Here's the fabric that I'd chosen to use. These are all scraps that I had gotten from an old kimono store and out of a 1,000 yen bag. And that bag was probably about 2 or 3 kilos worth of scrap, 100% cotton fabric. So I've got two cover pieces, a piece cotton batting, two interfacing. The one with the filigree flower is going to be the pages, and then these two striped pieces are going to be the internal pockets of the needle book. And those two are the closing straps, which are just scrap offcuts. Now to get started on my actual Sashiko panels. This part takes forever, drawing all of the square grids and everything. But now you can see that I'm drawing my design, which is an extended persimmon flower. I'll admit I did start to get tired, and my original vision was to cover the entire piece, but once I completed one side, I thought it looked pretty cool just like that. And maybe I could have the slightly emptier side holding the smaller pocket instead of it all being completed. So here I am threading the needle and preparing myself to start work on this sashiko. Sashiko is a method of mending clothes by patching over holes in garments with another piece of cotton fabric. And because Sashiko uses running stitches, it's very easy to attach. And because of those running stitches, it lends itself to creating these beautiful, intricate patterns, which also helps to reinforce the fabric even further. So there's dual purposes here. I find that just getting started on the pattern is the slowest part because I want to make sure that I'm accurate with the first line because it sets me up for the rest of the pattern nicely. If I don't take time here, then I find the rest of my lines end up being a little bit wonky. I've almost completed the first set of running stitches. Once those are done, I then start working in the perpendicular direction, and you can really start to see the persimmon flower open up. Now I'm working on another panel. This is the panel that I decided would be the cover of the notebook because it was a pattern that I've been seeing all over TikTok and Instagram, and I just found it so beautiful and intricate. So it still requires running stitches, but not quite as many. Instead of using the point of the needle, you use the eye of the needle to weave through each of your already made stitches to start creating this flower pattern. The reason you use the eye is because it's blunt and it's not going to get stuck in the fabric as you try and weave it, because you have to go in a diagonal direction. And here it is. How gorgeous are those flowers? I love how tightly woven they are and how intricate they are too. And now together. Let's start to assemble. So that part is going to be my cover, and this one will be the inside. So I've attached the cotton batting and interfacing to both pieces already, as well as the straps. I'm going to do a quick basting stitch around this piece because there are a lot of layers and I just want to be sure that it stays in place. Basting stitch done. Now I want to align up the pockets. I want to find the center point of my needle book first, so I fold it in half and use a couple of pins to guide where that is. Now to just line up my pockets, making sure that I've got the placement over the pattern correct, as well as that they are center. This part I was very particular about because I really wanted it nice and straight, because if I could get the join of the two pockets to be straight, center and neat, it means when I attach the pages I'd catch everything all together in one set of stitching, which you'll see very soon. Time to make a Sashiko fabric sandwich. I pull the ties in to make sure that when I turn this out, the ties will be on the outside. Adding the cover fabric right side to right side, pin it all together, making sure that I have space for a hole to turn it inside out. Let's get started. I mistakenly made my turnout hole way too small, so this took forever to do and it was really tight. I was probably even popping a few stitches.
A few moments later.
All turned out, and now time to top stitch. Normally top stitch is just a straight stitch, but I had decided, in keeping with all of the patterns, to do a zigzag stitch because I just thought it looked really pretty with the rest of it. Now I'm lining up the pages, which is just this one piece of fabric that I'll fold over, but I did have to seal the edges first with just a zigzag stitch. I'm making sure it's nice and center before I go and zigzag stitch attach this down. Straight down the middle. As I mentioned before, I wanted to try and attach the pages as well as the edges of the pockets all in one go. So I'm trying to make sure everything's centered. Let's give it a shot. I decided to do a zigzag stitch down the center because I knew I had to catch a couple of layers. And here's the finished product. I am so happy with it. How gorgeous is that pattern? The ties work really well. Opening it up, I think it looks so cute. I love all the contrasting patterns and fabrics and everything. It just feels really functional. Let's fill her up and see if it worked. First, the needle threader. Really cute because it looks like a sakura blossom. This is the chalk lead inserts for the metallic pacer you'll see soon. Here's the thimble that I made, because it does get a little bit tough in your hands. And now the back pocket, I'm adding in the Sashiko ruler that I bought when I was in Japan, as well as my scissors and the chalk pacer too. That is my favourite purchase because it makes sure that the lines are so fine when I'm drawing on the fabric. Now let's add the needles. These two are really thin steel needles that I bought in Japan, and they've been the best purchase so far because they're just so sharp and really, really good for doing this kind of thing, which they obviously thought about. A couple more needles that I had in my collection. They're a little bit thicker though, so I'll probably use those for more embroidery rather than sashiko. Embroidery seems to use thicker thread, thicker needles. And here it is, all filled up. How cute is it? My dimensions were a little bit off, wasn't quite tall enough to hold the ruler and everything, but I'm not that worried about it. It looks really cute. I could probably fit it in my handbag, take this on the go with me, do sashiko wherever I want. No biggie. So stick around if you want to see some bloopers. Now, while I was trying to seal the edge of this piece of fabric, I was using a hemming foot where it has a plain edge that you could abut the fabric up to. And the thread just kept on getting caught over the little shank on the inside. And I couldn't figure out why. I was going back and forth for ages trying to figure it out. And then I noticed the other night I had chonked a hole through it, so the thread was getting caught. How annoying. But that's okay, just means I get to go to the store now and buy a new one. Hi everyone, just wanted to say a really big thank you for stopping by and watching to the end of that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have anything that you'd like to see in my next videos, let me know. Otherwise, I'd love it if you liked, followed, subscribed, commented, whatever it is, that'd be great. Thanks so much. Have a good day.